want to thank everybody for tuning to a special edition of SC Sports World. I'm your host, Luther Dupree, joined as always by the Hall of Famer, Claudia Rosano, Big Rome, Smoking Jim Frazier. We have two great guests on today. Can't wait to get it started. Make sure you give us a call, 412-530-5063. Check us out on the website as well, SC Sports World. Claudio, introduce our special guest who we have in the house tonight.
Very special guests. And, you know, I criticize people sometimes for not being prepared. Dr. Cole, I had your bio on my phone. I don't have it on a script here, so forgive me, but I know you're a Dr. Robin Cole of Monroe Community College, and you can kind of expound on your career, but he's also an author, and he played at Robert Morris, offensive line at Robert Morris. And we have an old friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, who I think the world of, and that is Robin Cole, 1977 and first-round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers, two-time Super Bowl champ, All-Pro 1984, Pro Bowl 1984, entrepreneur, and again, great guy. Thank you both for being on our show today.
Thank you. But we really appreciate the opportunity.
All right. You know what? Let me start it off. Dr. Cole, let me ask you, what inspired you to write this book? And it's called Lessons from Behind the Steel Curtain.
Yeah, you know what inspired me throughout my whole life, you know, being around my father and everything he's done, I always wanted to do something with my dad, you know, some type of special project. And, you know, and I've always wanted to write a book, you know, being in higher education and different fields that I've been in. I've, you know, dabbled a little bit of writing, and I've read a chapter in a book before as a contributing author. And, you know, I started to just talk to him about, okay, what's something we can write about? What's some of the stories? And we started to just talk a little bit about the Steelers, about his career. And then the idea hit me. It was just like, you know what? The Steelers are a successful brand, just like Walmart, Costco, JP Morgan, whatever it may be. And they're a worldwide brand. And they've been that way since, you know, 1969, really, since the Steel Curtain days. So, you know, what is it that made them successful? And I thought about some things that I've done in leadership and some things I utilize in sports that I use with my teams. And I said, you know, there's some lessons there that I've learned from my dad and that he definitely learned from his time with the Steelers that I can implement, I can share, and just to help people be successful within organizations, life, teams, whatever you're putting together. And just wanted to put it on paper.
Now, Robin, before you were with the Steelers, I'm sure you had some lessons learned at home. Give us a couple of those stories that still carry with you to this day.
Was that for me or for?
Yes, yeah. No, for you.
Okay.
You know, I'm Dr. Cole.
That's right.
We're both Robins. So I had him in the front. Claudio, just so many lessons along the way. You know, as growing up as a one of 10 children, and stuck in the middle of them all, and being number 7. You know, there's a lot of things that you kind of learn from the older brothers and sisters, and some things that you learn from the younger brothers and sisters. I had a mother that was just a fantastic woman, and a dad that was a country western singer, to tell the truth. My dad could have gone to Nashville and really taken some time and work a little bit longer on his trade. And on his trade, he was a very touching singer when it came to country western songs. So I grew up singing country western songs as a young man. But as we grew up, I learned how to work on automobiles because my father was also a body and fender repairman. He's and also a technician too. He was good at working on cars, and we had to learn how to work on cars and how to clean up and how to detail cars. We learned all of those things, and step by step, and often thought about in the early days that that business becoming a larger business or becoming a big business, but it just didn't happen along the way. But there was a lot of things and a lot of steps we learned from that about being persistent in what you were doing. I grew up playing softball, grew up playing baseball, and grew up playing some sports and being around my older brothers that also played sports. But then all of a sudden I had the opportunity to play tackle football. I didn't think I was going to play tackle football. My 10th grade year, I stepped into the tackle football arena. with the equipment because we played flag football up to the 9th grade. And then went out and tried to play tackle football in the beginning. And I went out there and I started practicing. I started to learn some things about tackle football, and it started feeling pretty good until I played my first game. After I played my first game, I tackled a big running back in the backfield, and I thought I tackled him in the backfield. I hit him hard enough, but he didn't go down. He kept running, and he ended up scoring a 65-yard touchdown. And when I worked my way to the sideline, or after they woke me up, I got to the sideline, and I was thinking about quitting. And I had a plan for quitting. And so I went to the sideline, and the coach was, saying, you didn't, screaming at me and saying, you didn't wrap him up. You didn't wrap him up. I said, shoot, wrap him up, coach. I sat on the bench. I said, shoot, let me start thinking about my baseball swing. I'm a pretty good baseball player. I was thinking about a bet I can hit home run, line drives. I mean, let me start thinking about this over here. So I had decided that I was going to tell my mother that I was going to quit. And so I was on my way home. I had to take 2 bus trips on my way home. One bus trip from where we played at the high school that we were at, and back to the school, and then from the school back home. And by then I thought I would have myself together to where I could explain this to my mother well enough to where she'd understand. And she said, oh, all right, son. Okay. All right. Well, I understand. You do something else. And so I got home and walked through the front door, and my mother's bedroom was right, the first room to the left-hand side after you walked into the living room. And I said, well, I thought to myself, well, my mom won't say anything. It won't ask me anything about football because she didn't care for the game anyway. And so I walked past, and I'm walking by. Hi, Mom. She said, hi, Mom. And I walked past her room, and she said, how you doing? I said, I'm doing fine. She said, well, how was the game? And I said, oh, the game was okay. We won. And from there, she said, well, what else? Did anything else happen? I said, well, and I walked in the room and I said, Mom, you know what? I'm a pretty good baseball player. And I started talking about baseball. And I'm pretty sure she kind of wondered, what are you talking about? And she said, oh, well, yeah, I know you're a pretty good baseball player. I said, she said, then she says, I don't understand how the little guy, he's under the bottom of that big pile, and all those big guys pile on top of him. I don't even know how he can breathe under there. I said, you know what, Mom? That's dangerous down underneath there. You're right. You sure? I don't know how they can breathe down there either. I don't get caught too much down at the bottom of that pile. And so she just went on from there. And so I said, well, I think I'm gonna focus on my baseball game. And I thought about it a little bit, and I realized, she said, how did those shoes work? And that's when she brought up the shoes. I said, oh, the shoes. I forgot about the shoes. She went to her closet to get some money for me to purchase those brand new shoes. And so now I had these brand new football cleats, and I said, wow, golly, I got these brand new football cleats. So I don't know if she's gonna ask me about this cleat. What are you gonna do with those cleats now? But she says, I said, oh, I think I'm gonna focus on my the baseball game. She said, well, let me ask you something, son. I said, yes. She said, why did you go out for the football team in the first place? I said, well, Mom, I went out for the football team because the guys were, guys I hung out with, they were talking about playing football and maybe getting a scholarship. And, I really thought about it. I said, well, maybe I can get one of those scholarships too, if I can play well enough. And so I started to walk out of the room again. She said, well, let me ask you another question. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, did you get the scholarship yet? I said, no, I didn't get the scholarship yet. I said, well, Mom, let me explain to you what it takes to get the scholarship. So now I'm explaining to her what it took to get the scholarship. She says, well, I said, to get a scholarship, you have to be one of the best players. I mean, not only on my team, but you have to be one of the best players in the league. Only so many guys in the league get a scholarship. They have to be all conference and all that. And then that's going to take a couple of years because you have to be just a junior or a senior. That's not a freshman don't become, that at that level that fast. And she says, well, okay, well, I understand that. And so she said, I was just wondering if you got that scholarship yet. And so I started thinking about it, and I said, well, let me go to the bedroom. Let me get myself together. I got to get my talk back together and my points. So I'm in the bedroom, and my grandmother comes into the bedroom because she lived with us at the time, and she heard this whole conversation. which I shared with you the other day, that she's good at. She heard it. She knew everything that was going on the whole block. Back in the day, that's the way it was.
Right.
Grandmas know what's going on.
Uh-huh.
And so there I was, as she came into the room, and she said, walked in, she said, Robin, what, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, yes, ma'am. She walked into the room. She said, son, I'm going to share one thing with you. And she looked me right in my eyes, and she says, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can learn to do it well. Anything.
Right.
And she walked out of the room, man, and I carry that with me. I've carried it with me all my life. And I shared it with many, many people. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can learn to do it well.
That's great.
So many of us, we really try to, we quit too soon. And you have to be able to stick it out, and you have to ride it out, and you have to be able to take the steps, and to be able to keep on keeping on. It may hurt a little bit, there's some of the things that you go through, but if you continue to work hard enough, whatever it is that you're working at, it will pay off in the end if you just stick with it.
Excellent. I know I had a question for Dr. Robert Cole, so we don't get it mixed up again. Give me a few things that you want people to get out of this book. As we looked at it, lessons from behind the steel curtain. What are some concepts that you want people to get out of this book?
So, when you look at some concepts that I want individuals to get out of the book, one thing is, first and foremost, culture, just how to change culture. I tell people all the time, culture will destroy strategy any day of the week. And sometimes we realize why things don't work is because of the culture. We all been in cultures. I played at Rob Morris University. I did football and I did track and field too. And one thing Coach Joe Walton that I played under used to say is, winning is a habit, unfortunately, so is losing.
Right.
And sometimes we lose in life, sometimes in our organizations and our teams that we put together, we lose and we wonder why. So, when I look at some of the lessons that I set up in this book, and some of them I lined up with ductility of steel and some of the properties of steel, but one of the first lessons is the lesson of ductility, how steel is adaptable. And we have to be adaptable. And, I talk a little bit about, some of the other things that cause teams to be successful and why they're not successful. I talk about something called the good enough trap in the books. And that sometimes we get caught in that good enough trap. Things are just good enough. We're okay with that. Well, how can we change that? What are some strategies we can put into place to really, truly be leaders? Throughout society, leaders are the ones that really write the history. Leaders are the ones that make changes in lives through sacrifices, through different things of that nature. And that's just something that has always been on my heart, and how I matched up just how the Steelers became successful and some of the things that they did to bring together an adaptability, to bring together a team. I talk about things like tacit knowledge, things that you learn over repetition, and different things of that nature, and then just how you can implement these lessons to be successful, and really just look at yourself. Things start with yourself, and it's just a guide.
Okay.
Yeah, it's faith over fear. When we really take a look at everything that goes on and the challenges that you go through, faith over fear. I remember the very first time, and this is not football, but I can remember that I growing up as a young man, I used to be fearful of the dark. Sometimes I was fearful of the light. I was just a scaredy cat. They used to call me scaredy cat. Well, you're scared of everything. Somebody walking behind me stomped their foot real loud. Even when my kids did that kind of stuff, man, they had me jumping. I don't know why I was doing that, but that's the way it was. So now I was asked by a real good friend of mine. His name was John Stalecki. We called John Big John Stalecki. He was a restaurant owner. And I tell you what, John Stalecki owned a restaurant that had the best. In fact, I can taste it right now. Prime rib dinners. Oh man, it was some of the best meat. I tell you. And anytime I'd go over there and do something, he asked me to do something for him. I'd go over there. He would ask me, say, Robin, are you hungry? And I said, well, John, I'm hungry a little bit. He said, get him a steak that thick. Okay. And he would bring it to the table. You just can't forget. And John Stalecki, one time, he used to work in the community a lot in Albuquerque back when I was at school. And John Stalecki came out and called me up and said, hey, Robin, could you come out? and meet me. Come to the restaurant. He said, I need to talk to you about something. So anytime I went to the restaurant, if we're talking about something that I know I was going to get me a meal. So I shot over there real quick, and I'm sitting there with him, and he said, "Yeah, are you hungry?" I said, "Well, yeah, John." So now I got that steak in front of me, and John says, "Hey, Robin, what are you doing this Sunday?" I said, "Well, I'm not doing anything this Sunday." He said, "Good, because I have a banquet that we need a speaker for, and we need you to speak at this bank." He said, "Just a bunch of little kids." And I said, "Well, John, I've never done anything like that before." I said, I said, "But I know who I can get for you." He said, No. He said, "I don't want you getting anybody." He said, "You can handle it. You can do it." He said, "You're just talking to a lot of Pop Warner kids." He said, "You'll be okay with it." I said, "Oh, just a lot of little kids." He said, "Yeah." That Sunday, man, we got to this place and the room had 800 people in it.
Wow.
And I froze. I stood up there and began to, I had my 3x5 cards. I thought I was ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my cards. I'm shuffling my cards the whole time. And I'm sitting there with shuffling my cards. And the more cards I shuffled, the more people came into the room.
Okay.
And now I'm thinking about how can I get out of here? But I'm going to share something with you. What would motivate you? I sat there. And every time I thought about leaving there, I said, well, I'm just a sophomore now. I have 2 more years here. What if I couldn't get that prime rib dinner anymore?
Mm-hmm.
I was motivated by that prime rib dinner. I stayed right there, and until it was my turn to speak. And it was my turn to speak. I stood up there and I started going through my cards, and then I stopped. I said, "Wait a minute! I didn't mean to say that. That's the wrong place." And then I started flipping through my card, and then I lost my place. Now my head is down. The room was everybody. When I first stood up, everybody was talking. Nobody even knew they introduced me. Now the room is totally quiet. And I'm standing there at the podium with my head down, looking at my cards. And I stood there. I don't know. It seemed like I stood there for 20 minutes, but it was probably only 3, 4, 5 minutes. And the guy to the left of me said, "Hey, man, something's wrong with Robin." He said, "Why don't you ask him to see if he's okay?" And I said, and then the guy asked me, "Hey, Robin, you okay?" I said, "No, man, I don't think I can make it through this." He said, "Oh, that's okay." He said, "I got a lot of stories to tell." So the banquet ended. Now I said, I can't leave now because, I used to say bye to the people and talk and shake hands and do that kind of thing. But I was standing at the dais, still at the head table there. But I'm standing on the end after the event was over. I'm waiting for everybody to leave because I didn't want them to throw rocks at me. So the people were leaving, and a little girl and John walked up to me and he put his arm around my waist. He said, "Robin, don't worry about it." I said, "John, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I couldn't make it through." He said, "Don't worry about it, Robin." He said, "You'll get them next time." And I said to myself, "Next time?" Then I'm sitting there and he's looking at me. I'm looking at him, and a little girl about 12 years old was coming up front, and her mother was with her. And I looked up and I heard the girl saying something. And then the girl said, "Mom, who was that speaker from the football team that was supposed to be speaking?" And her mom said, "Well, that was one of the University of New Mexico's football players." And the little girl said, "He sure did stink, didn't he?" And the mom said, "Boy, get out of here." And so I didn't think John heard her say that. And then John looked at me and said, "Robin, don't worry about that little girl. What she's saying, she has no idea what she's talking about. She's just repeating what the rest of them said."
Oh, dang.
Right there. Right there. Right there is when that me and Fear had a fight when I got back to the dormitory room. I was fighting like crazy, man. Because I knew what it was. Because I went through that little thing when it was time for my turn in classroom. I would try to, get sick that day. Okay, right. My turn. Okay, they would have to let you know a week ahead of time if you're going to speak or stand up and read or do something like that in front of the classroom. Everybody's going to laugh at you. Mm-hmm. And so I was there, and that's when things begin to change for me. Okay, and I realized that I needed to do what it was that needed to be done to get to where I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Excellent. We do have a call. Mark Brentley, are you on the line, Mark?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me, Lucian?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Ask your question. Thanks for calling in.
Great. Yes, sir. Hey, listen, thank you so much. I just wanted to say it's a great show. And I want to say to Brother Cole Sr. and Jr. there, I am I'm founder and chair of an organization where we encourage men to get out, to get up, and get involved in their children's lives. And I am enjoying every minute knowing the fact that this relationship between the father and the sons, or just families doing something together, setting the example and working together. And of course, especially you, Robin, with your contributions here in the city of Pittsburgh with the Steelers and what you're doing off the field. I am loving it. And the only way that we're going to turn things around in this country, because remember, issues with our youth is not a black thing. It is not a Pittsburgh thing. It is an American thing.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Men. So I just called. I have no questions, brother. I'm just telling you that I'm loving it. And the fact that the two of you are standing together and doing something is unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, Mark, you hit on a great thing, and, you hit something close to my heart, and kind of how I end up right now in the community college realm. I started off teaching at Edinburgh University, Pennsylvania. I was a 24-year-old professor, and I've been a professor at Edinburgh University. I've been in Florida, state college system. Then I landed in the community colleges. And one thing I knew about the community colleges is you really impact the community. A lot of times, 80 to 90% of those individuals that are educated there stay there in that city and in that region. And one thing also is just the impact that you make. I tell individuals, when you look at a relay race, there's two ways that you lose a relay race. Either you drop the baton or a bad handoff. And it looks like a lot of times in society, in the community, sometimes we totally dropped the baton and we've had bad handoffs. And when you're talking about that relationship between a father and a son, especially my generation, like my father's generation, there's a lot of times where individuals had bad handoffs or they didn't get the exchange. I've had friends that told me, they said, your dad was like a dad to us. We didn't know who our fathers were. Our dads weren't around. And that's something that when I started to think about it, I tell people, I said, one thing about my dad, I always know where he is. I call him anytime. He's always going to tell me he loves me, and he's always going to love on me. And he always has inspired me and encouraged me. And that's something that was also an inspiration to write this book as well. So I thank you for the call, and it's awesome.
Okay.
Fantastic. And also the other thing, Rob, sometimes your legs don't move fast enough.
I like that.
No, Claudio knows about that. I don't know if he had that kind of speed.
Just enough.
Hey, Robin, one more question I wanted to ask. You do a lot about prostate cancer. And
yes.
You started the organization. Can you talk about it, your experience with it? You're a cancer survivor, so you can give a lot of people motivation. Just talk about your experience, how it's affected you and your family.
Oh, man, I tell you what, golly, prostate cancer has really took its toll on my family. I have 7 brothers, and every single one of us had prostate cancer. We all ended up with surgery.
Wow.
My dad passed away at the age of 49 from prostate cancer, metastasis from his lungs. From his prostate to his lungs. And my father had a cousin, a cousin of his that also passed away because of the same situation, cancer that went from his prostate to his lungs. And this guy, because his name was Nat King Cole.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
My grandfather and Nat King Cole's father were brothers.
Wow.
Okay. And Nat's cancer didn't start in his lungs. Nat's cancer started in his prostate. And similar to my dad and what happened to him. But and after that had happened, I started the foundation. It was with a couple of guys here in the Pittsburgh area, fantastic people. And what has happened to the foundation now is that we lost quite a few of the guys that passed away. And at the same time, and then I moved from the area. So I look forward to trying to do something in the future to come back and do something with that a little bit later on. But just teaching men and helping men understand that it's better to know what's going on with your body early on than to wait until you get something that's devastating, and you're in a position where you don't have no choices.
Right.
You want to be able to. Guys need to get checked. Guys need to make sure that they understand when the PSA, understand the numbers, understand what the Gleason score is about. So many men, we got, African American men, it's like 1 out of 5 to 6 that will have prostate cancer in a lifetime. But what can save you? Here I'm going on 23 years cancer free. Yeah. I have 2 brothers that have passed away because they didn't jump on it in time. They knew about it because I knew about it because they knew about it before I did. Mm-hmm. Okay, and say get checked, and both one of them, the other one was the first one of one of my older brothers. He was always saying, "Hey, there's nothing bothering me. I'm okay. And because he had no symptoms, he didn't think there was anything going on. And by the time the doctors caught up with him and realized what was going on with him, he was already deep. He was what's the word I'm looking for?
Stage.
He was in stage 4.
Stage 4. Okay, yeah.
He was by the time he went to the doctor and he couldn't urinate is what happened to him, and the doctors had him in there for about 3 days and they couldn't figure out what was going on with him. And then my sister walked in there and said, "Did his wife tell you about his prostate cancer in his family?" And as soon as they said that, he said, "Let's do another blood test." Went and did another blood test, and there's nothing we can do for him. He passed away within that year. Mm-hmm. So getting checked, stand on top of it, and it doesn't make any difference because one of the youngest guys that I've known that passed away was a young man, a white young man that was at the age of 36 when he passed away. That was also serving and working with us with prostate cancer because his father had passed away because of prostate cancer, and he went to the doctor 3 years prior and asked the doctor. He was at 33 at the time, and asked the doctor he asked him. He said, "You know what? My dad had prostate cancer. You think I should be tested?" And the doctor said, "Oh, you're too young for that. You're too young to get tested."
Wow.
And he said, "Well, my dad I have family history." He said, "Well, no, but you're still young. Anything bother you? Nothing bother you? Oh, you're still young." He said, "Well, just a PSA. It's just a simple blood test. It only costs $15 to do it." Mm-hmm. He wouldn't do the test, and I'll be darned. And that he passed away 3 years later with 2 young babies. Him and his wife that he left him. So very serious prostate cancer. It's a silent killer. It's something that can sneak up on you. And the blood test is very simple. Some doctors will tell you no, but if the doctor's just talking to you that way and saying no, and you have family history, you got to push back against that and say, "Hey, doc, I understand what you're talking about. Let's do the test, please."
Right.
Run the test, and we'll take it from there.
Absolutely. Again, tell the viewing out how can they get this book? There's a lot of powerful lessons in here. We definitely
very powerful.
Yeah. You can get the book right now on Amazon, Amazon.com, and then you can lead to Kindle, and Kindle Unlimited is where the book is. We're looking at this. This book is, like I said, it's some powerful lessons. It's an easy read. One thing about me when I've read different leadership books, it's like, something that's just a long, drawn out book. I said, when you talk about lessons and I'm the type of person like, get to the point of really what you're trying to get to and really, be powerful and make a powerful, quick impact. So that's what the book is. And then, also you can just reach out to us if you want to reach us at steelcurtainleadership.com as well. steelcurtainleadership@gmail.com.
Okay.
Email us and contact us because other things we do is we both have spoke and coached, and I've done multiple conferences all over the country, and this is just something that we do. And the book is one thing, but going out speaking and talking to young men, being involved in the community, I do that. Social Action Committee. I'm a member of Mega Sci-Fi Fraternity Incorporated as well. So I do a lot of things with the community as well. So and then Dad is. I got that from my dad as well. Just different things done in the community, and just like I said, passing that baton.
Okay. Claudia, you have another question?
We appreciate you guys being on. Dr. Cole, again, I'm proud of you, all your accomplishments, and you have a lot more coming. And Robin, I think the world of you. I admire you. You've had impact on me. You continue to have impact on me in my business career and my personal. I appreciate you, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. And thank you guys for being on.
For sure. Love you, brothers. Love you guys.
Thanks
for having us, man.
The
Appreciate
defense, it just wasn't a defense; it was a mindset, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about that
Yeah.
mindset.
There you go. Thank you, guys.
Thank
All
you.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. All right. Man, that was an excellent interview. Make sure everybody go out and get this book. I can't wait to get my copy. Lessons from Behind the Steel Curtain. Robin Cole, Dr. Robin Cole as well. So we're going to try to have them on again. Thanks, Claudia, for setting that up, man. It was a great interview, man. I can't wait to get the book. Jim, are you with us, man? Are you up?
Yeah, I had a couple questions, but I guess y'all forgot I was on.
Jim, you never ask questions. I didn't know you always got something negative to say. Why don't you start it off with your first attempt with Smoking Joe? How about that, Joe? All right.
Thanks, Lou. And Claudia will be the first one to tell you that I'm not one to blow smoke or pat myself on the back. Here we go. I told everybody before the season, of course, it's a bloody heat. I said the Washington Commanders would take a step back. Of course, they did. They're like 3-10 on their way to 3-10. Hey, listen, I told y'all last week when I predicted, I said the Colts are paper champions. We can't name 6 guys on their team. You know what I mean? You get teams like this every year that start off fast and do good. I knew the Steelers would beat them. I tell you what, Luther, I'm surprised. I'm shocked that the Jets is just showing the world they're firing Aaron Glenn. I mean, you trade Sauce Gardner. You trade Sauce Gardner, and then you trade Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams is like the best defensive interior lineman in football. He got 39 sacks in 3 years. Listen, the first thing you do, and I'll finish up with this. When you are that bad, when you are starting from scratch, the first thing you do is hire an offensive coach. So that goes right there to show you that they're getting rid of Aaron Glenn. I feel bad for him. He'll never be a head coach or a coordinator again. But the Jets just did him dirty.
Wow. Jim, I disagree with you. I think the fact that they traded that talent, you can't fire him after this year. I mean, you can't win without a quarterback. You traded your 2 best players in your corner and your defensive end. I think they said, we're going to give you 2 years. We got all these first-round picks, 5 first-round picks over 2026 and 2027. I think he's going to get 3 years. Yes, they're going to go 1-16 this year. We already know that. I thought that before these trades. Now I'm certain they're going to go 1-17. But at least he didn't go winless. Next year they'll have all those first-round picks, and the following they'll have 3. So I disagree. He'll get more than 1 year, Jim. I mean, you can't expect somebody to win with the roster he has, especially now. Claudia, what you got for us?
Well, on the Aaron Glenn subject, you have to give him time. Chuck Noll had a terrible first season. Jimmy Johnson had a terrible first season with Dallas. You just can't get rid of guys. You have to let them grow into the position. Help architect, as I said before, a team for him so he can go out and do his thing. Now he has to go get maybe better coordinators. I don't know how good his coordinators are or aren't, but you got to give a coach some time. It's not easy. I know when I took over CMU, they had 40 consecutive losing years.
Wow.
Yeah, and they said to me, I was asked, when do you think you'll turn the program around? I said, as soon as I write the O at the end of my name, we'll turn it around. But we did. But again, we did. But I had players that needed, fixed. I had some good attitudes. We had the right people, and we did what we did. The Jets just kind of have to weed things out. Chuck Noll, I don't know when he said it his first year, but he said we are going to win a Super Bowl. But that's the good news. The bad news is a lot of you aren't going to be here for it. And you have to build a team. It's building. So the Jets, Woody Johnson would be absolutely crazy to. I said Aaron Glenn was going to do well. You have to give him a chance to do well, and you have to give him the right players, the right people. You can't have attitudes. You have to have the right people to build a team. So give him a chance.
Absolutely. I agree. I think 1 year is never enough when you're talking about coaching, Claudio. Never. But, let's jump into something I wanted to get into real quick, and then I'm going to have Rome and Fillmore start us off with the Colts game. Man, Jim, you talked about it. Listen, I don't blame Jaden Daniels. I blame the organization for what happened to him. He shouldn't have been in that game. He was just coming back from injury. You're down 30 points. Why is he in there running around? It was a freak accident. But, you look at the similarities between him and RG3. They both got injured in the same stadium against the Seahawks, the same down and the same yard line. I mean, this is freaky what has happened. Hopefully they can get his line while he's off. They get a line and together. But I think the Commander Stadium is actually cursed. RG3 got injured there. AP, Adrian Peterson tore his Achilles. You had the fence. All those people fell off the stadium. Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow got hurt there when he missed a year. And of course, Alex Smith. I mean, I don't know, man. That field is terrible. So many tragic accidents there. But Jaden Daniels is going to come back stronger. He'll be able to draft high, get him some linemen, and get him some receivers. Deebo Samuel was the only receiver that was kind of healthy. Scary Terry McLaurin, he was injured most of the year. He held out, and it didn't seem like his body was ready when he came back, and he missed a number of games. I'm not giving up on Jaden Daniels. I had him as the top quarterback in that draft last year, and I think he's still going to do it. Hopefully he gets in that weight room. He got to get a little stronger, though. Because this year he was beat up. All right. That's my point. Listen, Big Row, Fillmore, your thoughts on this Colts game upset. I had it wrong. I didn't think the Steelers could pull it off. I said there was a chance, but I didn't think the D was going to be playing like this. Go ahead, Big Row. I'm going to let you start it off.
If I would have been here, I would have thought that Pittsburgh would have probably lost this game. It's great that Danny Dimes was back at least for a game, because that's the Danny Dimes that I know. So what we produced defensively was what they talked about, was simplifying the defense. Mm-hmm. Whatever that meant, because, we're not behind the curtain. But whatever that is, between that and playing a lot more zone, they did the job. And I don't know if Indianapolis was ready for it, but they came to play. And the one person that really came into play was Wilson.
Yeah.
Wilson was big time. And that helped out a lot in the middle. And our defensive ends actually played the job that they were supposed to be playing a run decent, coming in there and putting pressure on them. So I'm very happy about that. The only thing that still leaves me confused is that there's not much of an evolution with the passing game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing where we're supposed to take that next step. It's cool that we're getting the tight ends involved a little bit more, but we're not stretching the field, and we're not producing on that end. But we did enough to win, especially with the turnover, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
We're doing the same thing next week because their offensive line of the LA is not that great, especially with Alt being injured this week.
Both their tackles, I think, are injured. Alt done probably for the year.
Yeah, he's done.
Their tackle is injured as well. So like you said, man, Highsmith, that was the best game he's had all year. 2 sacks. He got player of the week in the AFC. So hopefully him and Watt continue to do it, man. I agree. But we're wrong. As far as your receiver, there's no help on the horizon unless you're a fan of MVS. I thought they were going to make a trade. I was wrong. And then when you see what Jacoby Myers went for, a 4th and a 6th, You can't tell me the Steelers couldn't offer that. They have 12 picks. You're not going to have 12 rookies on your team.
This is the thing that's the thing that I'm keep on telling you. This is what I said when I first got up on here. They're playing a long game. I thought that they would have took a shot, and they did try to take a shot, but at what price?
You think they took a shot?
This is what they're saying. They're saying that they put offers out. That's what I mean by taking a shot.
Yeah.
What were they willing to give up is the key. Because I'm telling you this because it's gonna play out. Next year they're going for the quarterback, and they're going to put a lot of eggs in that basket to get that quarterback. They're not leaning on homeboy from Ohio State.
Will Howard.
It's cool that he's on the team. It's cool that he's a prospect, but they're going to go and shoot for that first round draft pick, and they're going to put some eggs in that basket. So, what are you willing to give up? Because they don't think that this year. Here's the thought process. Because I was thinking about this all day today. With that wide receiver, is that going to make a Super Bowl contender? Yes or no?
I believe it could have. Jacoby Myers.
But you're saying it could have. It's a possibility.
Well, you can't.
They don't think it's a possibility.
It's a major possibility because right now all the defense is directed towards DK. You have nobody to stretch the field. Calvin Austin's fast, but he's not a number 2. I don't think. Roman Wilson, airplane is what I call him. You never know what he's going to do. He's jumping for no reason, falling. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has a lot of trust in him. Yes, I think a veteran receiver like a Jacoby Myers would have put him over the top.
I'm not saying that it would have been an upgrade. It would have been a definite upgrade. But you're talking about Jacoby Myers. We're not talking about Adam.
Jalen Waddle.
We're not talking about Jaden Waddle. We're not talking about upper echelon wide receivers. We're talking about a legitimate.
Yes, a 4th and a 6th is not a lot.
I'm not talking about the price per se. What I'm talking about is the talent in return. We're not getting a number 1 wide receiver. We're not even getting close to a number 2 wide receiver.
I don't think we need number 1. I don't think we need. DK is paid to be the number 1 receiver. When he's doubled and triple coverage, you hardly ever see a pass to him when there's not 2 guys in his face. You have to have somebody else on the other side to take the top off or run routes that Aaron Rodgers has complete faith in. And maybe that's why, I saw the interview with MVS. He says that Aaron Rodgers is why he came here. So Aaron should have faith in him. Maybe that'll help. I was expecting more. I don't know. When you get Aaron Rodgers, that means you're putting all your eggs to try to go for the Super Bowl. And I don't feel they did it.
I don't believe that they brought him here to do that. I think he was a bridge. And this is what it's playing out. You believe that way, but none of their actions are putting forth that in that process. Because if that was the case, we would have snagged somebody up by now. We wouldn't wait until November the 4th.
But it's the same issue as last year. You didn't have a viable number 2 receiver.
We didn't have a viable quarterback.
Well, they didn't have a viable quarterback either.
Yeah, so we can't compare the two.
Yeah, but you still have to have 2 receivers that I don't
listen. I understand completely what you're saying. What I'm talking about is all of these wide receivers this year who are getting away, who were given away for King's ransom per se. A 4th and a 6th for Jacoby Myers is expensive.
I don't think.
I'm gonna just put that out there. We could have gave it to him.
Not when you have 12 picks. They're going to trade those picks anyway, bro.
He's going to trade them for a quarterback. So why would you give it to him for now when we're trying to get a quarterback? And I don't mean to take up this much time with it because it's apples and oranges. But all I believe is that they're not putting their eggs in this basket this year. Next year, when they get the opportunity to grab a wide receiver, they're going to grab them. But their main focus is going to be quarterback.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Fillmore, get in here, man. What's your thoughts? And then we'll get Claudio and Smoke and Jim. We got to get Jim in here before he starts whining again, man. But your thoughts on free agency? I'm very disappointed.
I'm totally disappointed. I'm disappointed on them not making a big move. I think a Jacoby Myers and Rashid Shaheed is a Mike Williams type trade. It's a pickup. I think it's the same type of pickup. It's a lateral move to go nowhere. So no one they would pick would move the needle for anybody's defense. So, oh, we have to key on this person. They're not. So I'm disappointed that they didn't do that. So what they need to do is what they did last game. Aaron Rodgers spread the ball around the 9 different receivers. And as long as you're doing that, you're not spoon feeding Metcalf, you're keeping the defense honest. That's one. Peyton Wilson had 13 tackles.
Yeah,
the young man went off, and Patrick Queen had 5, and that means 9 in 3 games. He can't get off the block if he has star 82. This dude, for some reason, is the green dot guy, and he shouldn't be.
I like that. Come on, man.
I'm just saying, like I'm glad for Wilson, but Patrick Queen, my gosh, dude, man, let go of somebody, man. He playing football like he's at a 7th grade dance. He just holding on to people doing a 2-step. Get him off the field if that's the case. Like Darius Slay, man, he's
either getting burnt or he's getting injured. I mean,
he's out here grabbing flags. That's all I know. He reached and tried to grab flags. He's not tackling people.
Yeah, he's Patrick Peterson 2.0. You know, they brought a guy that had, at the end of his career and don't have much left. I never thought I'd say this. I'd rather see James Pierre more than him.
And that's my point. But guess what though?
Darius Slay.
There's rumors that they may sign Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah, he's on a world tour visiting everybody, and he visits the Steelers.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday is when he visits the Steelers. So
if he does that, that will solidify Jalen Ramsey staying at safety. Because Jalen Ramsey is at safety, and because that young, other safety from the Patriots were there,
Kyle Duggar.
Yeah, Kyle Duggar. That's why they had to make the defense simpler and just play zone.
Mm-hmm.
And let's stay that way, please. But the offense, yes, we need number 2, but guess what, man? We're putting up way more points than we did in the past 3 years. So I'll take that and just bolster the defense up.
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned that safety. I wanted to bring that up because Smoking Jim, another L for you. You said Jalen Ramsey would not play safety. And he's already played safety, and he'll probably play for the rest of the year. Smoker Jim, your thoughts on the Colts game? I will give you credit because you took a lot of L's on this show. You did say the Steelers would win, but your thoughts and also about the trade deadline, Jim.
Well, I heard a lot of excuses about the Washington Commanders.
Those are facts.
Well, all y'all had to do was say, Smoking Jim, you were right.
Jim, he got injured.
3 quick points of Aaron Glenn to Chuck Noll. Number 1, when Chuck Noll got the job halfway through the season, his general manager didn't get fired. When your general manager gets fired, the new one wants to bring in his own people. The National Football League now is an offensive league first. They don't respect defensive players. And the third biggest difference is 43% of all first-year black head coaches in the NFL get fired. Welcome to the club, Aaron Glenn. But hey, listen, you got to wait around. Rome did everything. I couldn't have said it no better than Rome. First of all, Myers makes too much money. A 4th and a 6th is way too much for him. The bottom line is, and Rome will agree with me on this, there's only one player that could take the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Super Bowl, and they got rid of him. That's George Pickens.
Oh, my God.
You know what? Come on, Jim.
He has such a unique talent.
Just let it go.
I seen it coming.
He gets his feet down, he would be the perfect complement to DK Metcalf.
And he'd be complaining, and he wouldn't be blocking. Jim, there was a whole lot of in this system you got to block. And Pickens, for me,
Are you smoking crack, Lou?
Hey, listen, Roman Wilson gives it his all. Albert Austin, come on, man. He's 170 pounds. Come on, man.
I say this for Smoking Jim, and it's a rarity in this day and age in 2025. It's almost my birthday. I never thought I'd say this.
Oh,
I would trade a 3rd round pick for George right now.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're looking for the quarterback, if you're looking for the wide receiver that you're looking for a 3rd round pick for this year, I think that if anybody that was out there on the field, I would take George Pickens over anybody that got traded away this year. And for a 3rd round pick, I would have did that. Well, not a 4 and a 6 for Jacoby Myers, not a 4 and a 5th for the boy from New Orleans. But a 3rd round draft pick.
He is going to help the Seahawks. The Seahawks are all in. All these teams are making trades. You know, the Colts 7-2. What do? They go out and give 2 number 1s for Sauce Gardner. They're going for it. You can tell the teams that, you know, are going for it. Kansas City State, Pat, but you know they're going to be there in the end. Buffalo State, Pat, but you know they're going to be there in the end as well. The Ravens, they didn't have pass rush help. They went out to the Texans and got a defensive player to help them with their pass rush. The Steelers stayed pat, and they did nothing. Breaking, trading for nobody. We get a receiver that's been out the league. We don't know how much he has left. The safety, I like that move. Duggar was a steal. They didn't have to give up a lot for him, and he played 77 out of 78 snaps. That was excellent. You could, no mistake made.
They traded for somebody then, right? They traded for somebody.
They needed to trade off. As Smoking Jim said, it's an offensive league. They're running 13 personnel and 12 personnel. All these tight ends. Those guys aren't going to break it, But I do like what Claudio said. They're getting Washington involved a whole lot. He had 4 catches, about 43 yards. He's the tight end they need. Jonnu Smith, again, he dropped another pass wide open to start the game. From then on, Aaron Rodgers was cussing guys out the first play on, and that's why they didn't do anything the first series, because he was too busy cussing at Jonnu for missing another pass. Then he was cussing at Warren for the first 2 series. So, and I don't know, man. It's just not enough explosion. I mean, everything has to be perfect or gift wrapped by the defense. The running game is not great. I don't know. I'm just extremely disappointed. The way they were moving, you make all these moves in the offseason. You're in first place. Why not go and get another receiver?
I think that, can I say this? I think that
these quarterbacks coming out, and I told you this, these quarterbacks coming out aren't as good as people thought they were at the beginning of the year.
They're not good.
All of them have dropped the level. So you don't have to move up to get these guys.
But we say that all the time, though. But we're looking at the quarterbacks who came out with the past couple years. Some of the quarterbacks that didn't get drafted in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd round, and they're turning the corner. Let me make a list. We're going to talk about this next week, I hope. But we could go and I could give you statistical knowledge on all of these people who never came out to say, oh, this guy's a certified 1st-round draft pick. This guy's a certified. Look at Jackson Dart, for instance. Nobody was talking about Jackson Dart as being anything but what he is. And he's up there balling right now.
He's balling. He was a
first-round pick.
But he's a first-round pick. But if he was as good as everybody thought that he is right now, he wouldn't have dropped to the end of the 1st. This is what I'm saying. So we're taking this mentality that these quarterbacks aren't going to be nothing. No. Just like the quarterback who they took the 1st one overall, he's not playing that well. They took him the 1st round overall.
Cam Ward, listen, I told you he was going to struggle.
But you were telling me he's going to struggle, but nobody was not going to take him not number 1.
Anybody who goes as a quarterback is going to struggle. They have I
don't care who you put there.
They have no running back. You could put Mahomes there, and he would struggle to get 500. That team doesn't have enough talent. The organization is bad. I don't know.
They paid $20 million for Dan Moore to be the starting left tackle.
Yeah. What else do you have to know? Are they listening to Smoking Jim? I mean, their offensive line is bad. They're worse than last year since they got that bum Dan Moore, Jim. And he was hyping them up. Another L for Jim. Claudio.
Yeah, that's a big L for Jim. I can't protect you on that one, Jim.
Yeah, Jim just catching L.
I can't protect against that much, Jim. I'm sorry.
Man, open door Moore is what we call him, right, Jim?
He's a revolving door.
Go ahead, Claudio. Who the GOAT said Steelers fell in the offseason? Really?
Nah, not
Hey,
the offseason.
you mean a trade deadline? Who the GOAT? You might have to clarify that, bro. All right, go ahead, Claudio.
I thought you guys forgot about me, Luther.
I'm sorry, they got me hyped up. I was off a couple weeks, bro.
I'm just trying to be like Jim. That's all. Okay, couple things. Pickens as a coach, I wouldn't want him anywhere near me. Tomlin tried. He's going to be nothing but a problem. He's talented. Nobody said he wasn't talented, but he's not. As Mike Singletary once said, can't win with him. Can't do it. Can't do it. And he's not going to be a winner until he matures. There's no way in hell, as a coach, I'd want him anywhere around me. Number two, next year's quarterbacks, you do not want to put your eggs in those baskets. So Aaron Rodgers is good this year, and he'll be good next year, and you may squeeze another one out of him. Don't worry about his age. Don't worry about his age. Get somebody to protect him. He still has it. And they haven't even allowed him to be Aaron Rodgers yet. Okay, but he still has something in him. Now, something Rome said, these guys, you know who says that the kid from Penn State is good and this kid's good? It's these reporters who they don't know what the hell is going on. That guy Kuiper and all these other guys. Do the work. Bill Nunn, what he did, he didn't listen to these reporters. He went out and he got the guys he got. Okay, you mean to tell me there's nobody else out there but the guys that they mentioned? Not true. But I would stick with Aaron Rodgers as long as you can, number one. Number two, they didn't go out and get a receiver. I still think Austin can be something special, and I'm going to keep saying it. If they use Washington better, he's going to be hell on wheels. He could be a Pro Bowl tight end. As far as the Colts game is concerned, what I liked about the defense, they attacked. They did his own, as Fillmore said, to make it simple. Make it simple. Why the hell you want to complicate things? But attack. Get that mentality back. Offensively, they were lucky that the defense gave them good field position. The offense still, Aaron Rodgers has every right to bitch at everybody. But they need to open up. And Big Rome had a great word, evolution, lack of evolution. I like that. Same old stuff. Let Aaron Rodgers do his thing. You still have a Ferrari there. Use him. Speed it up a little bit. Okay. And the weapons, you're not going to go get a receiver.
What if you're at the receiver position other than DK?
But what did I say about the Pirates, Luther? If you're not going to go buy a new car, fix up the one you have. You have a few guys. You said yourself, Austin can run. Send them deep. Open it up a little bit. You have 1,000 tight ends. You're not using them properly. With that rollout they did a couple weeks ago with Washington, beautiful. Do it again. Keep doing it. Do something. And then that'll help the backs out. But they have to be, again, Rome loved the word, evolution. Open it up a little bit. Don't just give the same damn thing over and over and over again.
I agree. I said that when they got Arthur Smith. Open it up. Did you see his offense at Tennessee or at Atlanta? It's not impressive. It's basic. You don't have to study it. It's the same thing over and over again. We all know the same plays. They haven't done anything we haven't expected in 8 games this year. Hey, but real quick, we got Mr. Stiller fan. He said somebody called Lyman Swede.
Hey, look, the Steelers changed the field to natural, so I think you should get Martavius Bryant. He plays better on he plays better on grass. He plays better on grass. So we got him out there.
After his prime was gone. That's a shame.
Real quick, Fillmore, I like your sweatshirt, by the way, before we go on, but go ahead.
All right, who to go? Hey. The crash out. Glad that clown is gone. All right. And Mr. He moved over Matthew Berry. Wow. All right. We do have a caller. Sean, you still on the line?
Yeah, I'm on the line, guys.
What's going on? Sean, thanks for the call, man.
Not much. Another weekend, another college football head coach fired.
Hey, it's a crazy game, but at least most of them got some nice buyouts. And Franklin is back at Virginia Tech. You heard that?
That job.
Huh?
I want to touch that job.
Hey, you know what though? He has the ties to the Pennsylvania, New York, some of these areas, and the ACC is a lot easier to win than the Big Ten. Don't you agree?
Yes, but I think there's better jobs in the ACC. I would take over Virginia Tech. I would sit out a year before I would take a job. I definitely want to take the Virginia Tech job.
Hey, Sean, if I had $49 million, I wouldn't do a damn thing. I would not coach. Trust me.
Exactly.
It does seem like there could be better jobs out there. Maybe he really just wants to get back out there, you know?
Yes. This is why I'm saying I wouldn't take that job. The reason why I want to take the Virginia Tech job, I would wait to see what NC State would have to offer.
Whoa.
I want North Carolina or NC State. The reason why I want one of those two jobs is that region, the state of North Carolina is growing like crazy. If you the right coach and you can win there, you'll be fine. Virginia Tech, let's be honest, all Virginia Tech has been Bruce Smith, Michael Vick. That's it.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, we'll see if they're going to invest in that program with the NIL, but the ACC is open for the taking, though. Sean, I mean, that's you could get to the college playoff real quick by winning the ACC.
Well, that's why I said North Carolina or NC State.
I don't know, Bill Belichick might have something to say that North Carolina is not all it's cracked up to be right now, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, that's why from Franklin knows if Franklin could win at Penn State and Vanderbilt, he would know what it takes to change around in North Carolina.
Okay.
That Clemson, Bill Belichick, you know, it's hard to compete for recruits in that area like that. It's hard.
You know what, Fillmore? Not only is it hard to recruit those players, but it's hard to keep players anymore.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I heard they're making a change with the NIL rules, so that, you know, you could get one transfer, right? They're making some changes, so it won't be the free agent like it is now, where guys are changing 3 times before the start of the season. So look for that to happen.
There's only one window in regards to transferring during the NIL period. There's only one window instead of there's like the December, January window, which is together. But then they used to have a spring window too. They got rid of the spring window. So
Right.
they only have one window.
So that helps guys with So we'll see. We knew they were going to tweak it a little bit, but you know, it's still the money game right now. But what else you got on that Colts game? Before we get out of here, Sean, what else you got on that?
Say that again, Luther.
What do you have on the Colts game? You have anything on that?
I listened to it because we up here in Columbus, we got the Cincinnati-Chicago game, which was one of the craziest endings.
That might have been the best game of the year. That was insane.
Yeah. But we get the Steelers radio network up here in Columbus, so I was able to listen to the game. Like I said before, people kind of laugh when I say this. I think Rodgers is motivated to go to a Super Bowl in his home state. The Super Bowl's in the Bay Area where he's from. I think he's going to tell the team after this game against San Diego, hey, listen, we got a team that could be in the state in the Super Bowl, but everybody got to get focused.
Hey.
I think they're going to be fine. I think they found out what they have with certain players now. It's just they just can't get injuries. If they stay injury-free, I think they can make a run because I'm not impressed with these AFC teams. I'm not impressed with them. They can all be beat.
That's true. Yeah, hey, you're right. There's a lot of flaws in all these teams, you know.
And I think the advantage the Steelers may have against other teams. Yeah, I know people saying, "Oh, we need another wide receiver. Oh, we need another wide receiver."
We do.
But when the Patriots, yes, we do need another wide receiver, but we got enough tight ends in which we can make mismatch problems with our tight ends against other teams. So I kind of like what our team is headed at. We just got to stay injury free. That's the key to the Steelers the rest of the year.
I got you. All right, Sean, man. Appreciate the call. We're about to get out of here, man. Always appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, fellas.
All right, man. Hey, listen. He brought up a point, man. Jalen Ramsey spoke before the team, and he really had the team motivated. So, that was a good thing. Maybe Aaron will get out there and give a speech instead of chewing guys out. He's chewing guys out every play, every series. but Smoker Jim, any final thoughts, and give me your power rankings, Jim.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey got in front of the team and said the coaches need to stop safety. My power rankings is City Chiefs got to be number one.
No, didn't they just lose?
Kansas City Chiefs got to be number one. I don't see nobody laughing at me this week when I say the Baltimore Ravens. Y'all got a little laugh there. I ain't hear nobody say they was wrong on that. The Ravens getting ready to.
They just traded Jair Alexander on a poor defense that's already struggling. So yeah, they're gonna keep giving them points.
and then the Green Bay Packers are falling off with Parsons getting one tackle a game, no sack, a half a tackle, assisted tackle. What a waste that was.
Jim.
Green Bay's not in my top. You got to have the Rams up there.
Yeah.
How about Seattle, man? I'm proud of Seattle. They don't miss DK Metcalf at all. And lastly,
you always got to slander.
Lastly, now that they put the defensive casket away at the tailgate party, the Pittsburgh Steelers got to be up there.
All right, Jim, you gave about 7 names and doing some that you didn't have in there, but just wanted to throw some slander. All right, I got you. All right, Claudia, what you got?
I thought you were never going to get to me. We're going to go with Detroit. Kansas City, Buffalo. I keep putting Buffalo up there. Detroit, Rams, Seattle.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go, and I'll come to Fillmore next. I can't believe you guys don't have Detroit in there. Listen,
I did.
I'm going to go my number one right now. The Eagles, when they're right and they just made some more trades to toughen up their defense, I'm going to have them number one. Not playing great, and they're still first in the division, first in the conference. I'm going to have them number one. To beat the champ, you got to beat the champ. I got them number one. Number two, I'm going to go with Seattle. Seattle made some great moves. Their offense is flowing. They just got another receiver. Now they have the number one receiver in the league right now, and now they got another guy full of speed with getting Shaheed, who I thought the Steelers could have looked at. So I got them number two. Number three, I got the Rams. Number four, I'll put Buffalo in there, and number five, I'll put Kansas City. Those are my top 5. Big Rum, who you got?
I'm going from 10 to 1. I got Pittsburgh at 10, New England at 9, Seattle at 8, Denver at 7, Detroit at 6, the Rams at 5, Indianapolis 4, Tampa Bay 3, Philadelphia 2, and Buffalo 1.
Okay. All right, Phil.
Okay.
I like Rome.
Man, I hate. I think Denver's going to get exposed, man. Denver's playing well, but they're going to get exposed. All right, Fillmore, close us out. Who you got?
I got Indy at 5. I got the Seahawks at 4. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 3. I got Buffalo at 2. And I got the Detroit Lions at 1.
Oh, okay. Hey, listen, man, we had a great show, man. I want to thank Robin Cole Sr. and Dr. Robin Cole Jr. Make sure you check out their book, Lessons from Behind the Steel Curtain. I'm definitely waiting for mine to come in the mail. We hope to have them on more. We didn't get a chance to talk to him about the current Steelers compared to when he played. We'll get that next time. But go check out their book. Check out the website, scsportsworld.com. Get some gear. We got a lot of great things coming up. We're going to be covering high school football, Amani versus Hopewell on Friday. So if you see us there, make sure you give us a call. We got a trophy to hand out. Hopefully, Amani can keep their win streak going. So we'll see.
Where's the game at, Luther?
Amani, Graham Field.
Amani,
yeah, and Woodland Hills is playing Big Row. They got a home game. They got a tough one. We'll see if they can keep it going. See if we can see the Scoop Smith. We got to get him on the show too. One of my favorite players, Jim. One of my favorite players. You know what I mean? But
Yes, sir.
maybe not the top 5 all time, but he's one of my favorite players of all time. That's for sure. Hey, for Big Row, Fillmore, Claudio, Smoker Jim, I'm Luther. We'll check you out next time. Peace.